Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So, I love this particular stage in this project. So, we're looking at the calendar prompt for the month of July. I think that's right. Yeah, July. And it was the galah for Susanna's Vintage Blend Studio calendar. Every month we got a different image. I'm not a fan of galahs, so I've swapped him out for Baby Bunny, which is one of Susanna's designs as part of a little kit that is also available on her website as a PDF download, which gives you more woodland creatures. I don't have it here on my desk, but there's a raccoon and this baby bunny and some other critters, hedgehog, a snail, I think, on a mushroom, all sorts. So if you wanted some additional images, head over to her website. So what I've been doing is I've selected 4 out of the whole 12 months and I'm making myself a little scrappy rice bag vessel / container. And Bunny is the 3rd one. Can't remember what the 4th one is, but I know I wasn't worried about that one. It was sort of fit and I won't be changing it out. I'll be sticking to the image. It was just this one. Galahs are just not one of my favourite animals. What I need is some plain fabrics. Hold your horses. Okay, so what I do, let me zoom up a little bit so you get more of an overview. There we go. So you can see the mess that I've just upended everywhere. So the plan is, first of all, is to piece plain fabrics around the perimeter of little Bunny, and that way if any peek through, we've got something different to look at other than the background. So I've just got another scrappy little bag here full of bits and pieces. I just need to keep the others close, so I don't want to go and change my colour scheme without realising. So I think I can have some music. Now some of these will be covered, but some won't. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fiddle around and build up the background. Got a bit of everything in here. It's sort of just my drop it in the bucket. Bit of rust-dyed fabric. That might be good over there. Just a little morsel there. Where's all my pins? Once I sort of get my collage happening of fabrics, then I'll come back with the laces and then decide whether the fabrics are 100% needed or not. I sort of have a process of going through the layers. So if you're new to all of this business, starting with the background fabrics is, a really good way of breaking up the plain, I guess, getting something at least down. Whether it stays or gets altered, doesn't matter. It's a process. It's a very enjoyable process. Another little bit of this. That's a placemat. Fabrics. Now, if you're lucky enough to have access to old fabrics, you might live somewhere where there's a regular vintage, let me bring that up a little bit, vintage market or something, or lucky you, that you can rummage and find treasures. But if you don't, just sort of think a little laterally. Not only is there thrift stores, but you might be in, say, even places like Kmart, and you'll see a cloth that they've embroidered with something random. Could be seashells, could be anything, but the fabric it's on is something that could be collaged and give you a bit of texture. And so don't be afraid to sort of head to the linen department. I'm always getting drawn to the cushion department. So sometimes I spot cushions that have a fantastic image on the front that could be stitched one day, you know, that pile, or the fabric on the back of the cushion is interesting. Might put that there, just similar to that fabric up the top, but that's okay for now because I have a feeling that'll be pretty much covered anyway. Blunt pin, you're out of here, bucko. Trying to be vigilant. Whenever I come across a blunt pin, just put it in the bin. I'm sick of them popping back up in my hand. A couple of days later, I'm like, oh, you again. So I'm trying my darndest just to drop that down a little bit. Happy with that up there. Okay. Now, might pop another little bit of this guy. This is fairly modern fabric. It's a linen. I was hoping it would fit through here on this side. Yep, that will all do. All of this helps build up that texture and layers too. Gosh, you guys must be sick of all of us saying texture. It's one of those words. It's like organic, isn't it? It's the word for the generation. When it comes to sewing, there's always one. Organic was it for a while. That one seems to have settled down a little bit, but now I think it's texture. You've got to add texture. This is a bit of tea-dyed fabric. I think we can pop a morsel of that on there. I might leave that because I think the lace will catch those bits. So there we are. Now I just want to have a little glance at the first ones just to make sure we stay in the same colour palette. Put that away and that away. And that away. This one might be a good one to start with. Maybe we can get that in across the top there. A little piece of it. I really like that edge too. Whether we can utilise it somewhere. Maybe there. Yeah, I don't mind that. So now I can bring that pin forward. I'm not worried that that gets covered. It gives us a transition in colours underneath it. Plus it helps build up the thickness, the texture. Just going to grab a little doily morsel, get him up in this top corner. And we can see all the different fabrics poking through. I might just leave it at one pin because I'm sure we'll build in something else. I'll just put that little guy in next, under there, that goes under there, and then that pin can come forward. Be lots of pins, but now that I've got a few in position, I should be able to just jiggle it. Still looking for reasonable sizes of things. Don't mind that coming up on Bunny. That little bit there. Nice crocheted edge. Gives a bit of a garden feel now. Right on there. And that there. Getting those peaks. Now, I like to add a little bit of this gloss type lace. Let's just have a little rummage through here and see. That one's different. Haven't used him before. We better have a little sticky beak into this guy. It's sort of a mix of old and new, these pieces, and I love how I get these flat matte areas, but then there's this pop of shiny as well. Really makes it quite interesting. And the other thing too is different shapes sort of help build your story as well. Maybe, oh, that's a nice piece. I don't know where it'll go, but I'm just going to take it off. Maybe that can layer in there. Yeah, that's good. Let's lift some pins forward. I like that little edge. Maybe we try them underneath and then that on top. That looks more interesting. Bringing that little piece forward. So, ow, no, don't do that. Stop smearing your hands across your work, girl. You're going to get caught and it's going to hurt. Let's go back to some of these pieces. Just that little guy there. This adds a little interest. And then maybe I've got this piece here. Maybe that can sneak in there. That's interesting. It's a lot of fun doing this type of work. Building, layering. Just going to my little container of lace motifs I've got off to the side. Oh, I know what I haven't got here that needs to be added is some tatting. There's always a little bit of tatting. Don't want to cover the tulips, so I might put, where's that pinhead? I might put that down first, but it needs to come right over, so we need a little bit off of that. Then that, because I like that music. That's better. Then maybe there's something that can go into there. What about this guy? He's got an interesting little shape. Spin him around. Don't mind it there. It's a different play on the colours. Still feel like I could do with something feature here. Something up there. So we need to have a look. Keep coming back to this piece. What's that? It's got an interesting shape that might be a good overlay for here. Let's see if that went. Like that. Yes. See, I sort of wanted this piece, the more I look at it, the more I see. hence this layering. So it's, you know, it's sitting on your desk and you glance at it and then you slow your eyes down for a moment and you see different pieces within your building of it, building it up. Does that make sense? There we go. Now we've got an interesting corner. All right, what else have we got? So I've got this. Sometimes big structural things are good to work in too. Don't mind that. Maybe I can move. Because remember I think I can sacrifice that back. Remember he's in the brush. Now I do have to stitch around the top of that. Maybe it's better on the corner. Maybe it's not at all useful to me. Right, that's really yummy. Oh, I love the bottom along there. It's like layer upon layer of yumminess there. I just wonder if it's, no. Save it for another day. Maybe I bring this closer. Yeah, I like that better. There you go. I removed it and had another go at laying it down and got a completely different. That's better. It nestles down into his ear there. That does cover his ear a little bit, but I'm okay with that. That'll help him look like he's in behind the bushes. So I'm happy with all that. I could do with something small here. Where's that lace from my mother's? That's another piece that's hanging around from my mother's bridesmaids. No, her wedding dress. See, there's another interesting piece too. If I did a see-through piece up here, I could potentially then see the music still. That's better. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I get to see the music. So where's that little piece that I did have there? Maybe I can add that back in. Put the rusty dyed bit to the top. That goes under there. That, how did I have it? That's better. And what I could do is actually leave that little bit of lace hanging out like that. Bit three-dimensional, because the sides are all whip stitched together or stitching through. Depends on the finish that you want to have on the side. So things like that hanging off and that could potentially be nice to have. That's good. I like how it's a little bit calmer up this top corner. All right, so I could still do with something decorative there that's solid. What have we got? We've got a little one of those. Can we squeeze him in somewhere? He's in. Could do with something through here, something through here. I'm pretty happy with this bottom corner. I feel like I've got plenty of layers. I'll cut this little bit off. It's too square, too rigid. Okay, where's those little bits that are from Stress? I saw them when I turned out this container of bits. There's all sorts in here. It's like the gift that keeps giving. I'm forever dipping into this, and there's always something. Here it is. Always something that comes out. I'll take 3. Yeah, that's good. It's great when pieces from memories land into your work. I like that. That's given a nice little detail in that bottom corner. The next stage is just stitching it all down, and that's it. It's such a simple little project. Needs something sneaking into there. I did pick up butterflies from Spotlight, a roll of them. Let me just grab those. Maybe we can have a baby bunny with a butterfly. Let's see, I haven't used them yet. I'm going to separate it. I thought, how clever, Spotlight. These are nice little add-ons. Just pays to wait for the sales, but you can save yourself quite a lot of money. Oh yeah. Hello, little butterfly. I think it needs to go there like that. Okay. It's feeling nice and chunky now. This will all help with the rigidity of the container as well. The more layers. There we go. What else do we need? I do that on top of that. I think that's probably it. Let me grab the other ones. Where would they get to? I haven't used any tape measure for a while. Like that. And there were numbers here. Here's some tape measure. What's this? You forget you have all this stuff. Seriously, unless you're rummaging all the time, there's no way you can remember. Maybe I can put a little bit of that there, just to sort of link it all. Make a little feature there of that. And then that little guy comes over, so it's just nestled in there. Yeah. I like that. Oh, I think we're nearly there. I could, keep going. Like I could easily see something up this edge here, but I think I'd start to lose that I've got that lace there. This piece here I think I pick up every time, but I have never, it's got a bit of glue on it. It must have been stuck to something and just don't seem to have the right spot for it. That's all right. It'll come in handy one day. Okay, little bunny. So all I need now is needle and thread, and I'm going to use a fine needle because I'll be pushing through a lot of layers, and if I happen to jab into some of those lacy edges, it can really cause you grief. And we don't want that pushback on our joints. We want it to be sliding through like butter if we can. Where is Reg? There he is. Is that Reg? No, it's Reg's cousin. I don't know where Reg is. Little weasel of a needle. That's Reg's half-brother. Oh my goodness. Anyone knew would be like, is that a brand? No, it's not. It's a name lovingly given to a needle that is very fine, great for beads, great for pretty much everything, but don't tell Reg. He doesn't seem to be here, so we won't mention it. But every so often Reg bites me. Well, not every so often, all the bloomin' time. Because he's sharp and fine, he does a real good job of it. There we go, there's my sneaky knot. Now it won't come undone. Oh my goodness, that's been a game changer. This needle's not too bad, but a finer one would be better. Reg would be better. Oh, look at that for a knot. Seriously? Where is it? 1, 2, 3. I didn't hold my fingers tight there like that. I started glancing across to the pins again, the needles, to see if Reg was there. So there you go, we've got it pieced. Now it's just sit back, relax, and individually stitch down every little morsel on this. You will get caught on pins. So if that really frustrates you, what I would do is whip through and put some big jumping stitches around, like go to each corner of the lace and just put a couple quick stitches, and that might be able, then you might be able to actually pull like this pin out and it's gone. Then you can go and sit down with it somewhere, not have to worry about pins, and you know you've got some basic stitches. I might do that with you guys and then I can toddle off and finish it. So I'm just going to scoot around, little stitches on top, big stitches underneath, working my way around, keeping my thread to the top of my piece too is helping, because I'm not, the excess looping is out here, so there's less likelihood that it will catch. So that pin can go. The things you eventually learn, but I can guarantee I won't necessarily do that in the next video because I tend to forget the things I learn reasonably quickly. There we go. Just through this centre. So I will have this pretty much tacked into position. So what's news? Oh, what's news? I've got an earache. I'm treating it at the moment just with off-the-shelf chemist products, and I think it's coming good. I think I'll be fine. I'm not going to cark it. But boy, oh boy, she ramped up there. All the advice on the packet say within 4 days, if it hasn't settled down, make an appointment with your doctor. And then I happen to have a retired nurse as an aunt, so she put the wind up me yesterday and said, oh, you've probably got a middle ear infection. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. That would explain the throbbing pain. And then she went through the symptoms of that, and I'm like, well, I haven't had a headache. I haven't had temperature or anything like that. Anyway, I said to her, look, we're on day 3, and I would have to say it's starting to simmer, but boy, day 2, holy macaroni, I was poor. It was shooting to the end of my ear, down my neck. I couldn't chew. I could still talk, but I couldn't chew with my jaw really opened and then applied pressure to, meat. So I ended up having scrambled eggs for dinner and just slid down. The next night, so that was day 2, I changed my medication because I think I had the wrong thing. I think the first ear treatment thing I had was more if you had water in your ear from swimming. I don't think it was really helping me much with the wax breakdown removal process. So, and it's always been a bit of a funny ear over the last probably 5 years. If there's one that's going to feel a bit achy after I wash my hair, that's the one. And I was putting an earbud in when I would wash my hair just to keep the water out, because I just felt like it was a bit temperamental. Never used to be. And that was pretty good. But I don't know what happened. She fired up. Can't hear a blooming thing from that ear. But anyway, it's now the beginning of day 4 and it is heaps better. Heaps better. Unbelievable how much I now can hear. I feel like there's a cool breeze getting to my brain. So that could mean I don't have an eardrum anymore, but I can hear. So I'm going to diagnose myself that my eardrum's okay. But it certainly doesn't feel blocked, if that's what I'm trying to describe. And the pain that I was feeling radiating around the ear canal, ear, cheek, jaw, it's completely gone. Another tip I got, so you get so many tips from people, don't you? So another tip I got was to take an antihistamine, because I did notice my ear canal swelled up. And it was a hang of a lot smaller than what it used to be. And I thought, another oddity. But I took an antihistamine and the next morning it was heaps better. And then I did another one the next day. I think I've had 3 antihistamines over the whole process of self-treatment. And really good. Really good. So in amongst all that, I think it was day 2 or 3, I can't remember now, we had booked in for a skin check, you know, where they look for sun cancers, melanomas, things like that. And there's a clinic in town that has a machine that takes photos of your whole body and then they're on record. So if anything changes, you've got a really good history. And I thought, oh, that sounds good. I never knew it existed. Probably is plenty of them in Brisbane, but a mate was telling us. So I booked us both in and I got a full body photograph done. And nothing like standing butt naked in front of a camera. Getting lots of pictures done. But anyway, suck it up, princess. Got that done. And I said to the girls at the, because I think day 2 after the photos, you get another appointment, but with the actual doctor, because we were with the nurse, to discuss any concerns we have with any spots, bumps and lumps. And if he thinks there's anything that looks a little bit sinister, and then you work on a plan to take care of it, whether it be removing it, burning it, whatever they do. Haven't had anything done like that, so that appointment is today. So I said to the nurse when we're getting our photos done, is it possible to have a doctor just glance in my ear? Because I think I'm on the mends. And no, you've got to have a separate appointment for that, because they're 2 different treatment observation categories. One is skin, which I presume the doctor gets a fee for, and the other one is probably more of a general thing, you know, ear infection maybe, and maybe a script or something. So that's a different. So I said, oh, okay, well, I'm coming tomorrow to find out the results for my skin photographs. Can I have a second appointment directly after it to get him to have a quick look in my ear, make sure that I'm on the right track, which I think I am. And she said, no, you've got to do it on a separate day. So she gave me the appointment the next day. So we've going 3 days in a row, one for the photos, one for the check up on the photos with the actual doctor, and then the next day is my ear, which is tomorrow. But she sort of said on the quiet, just whisper to the doctor and maybe he will have a quick look in your ear, and then I can cancel that 3rd appointment for someone that's probably got a bigger issue than I have. And I said, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Anyway, today I've woken up and my ear feels really good. I can actually push right around the canal, my lobe, the lumpy bits of your ear, and I don't feel a thing. Where that was so tender, I was standing up on the couch going, hurrah, that hurts. That was Friday. So I think Dr. Google and the chemist and the retired nurse and a couple mates have thrown in their 10 cents worth. One guy said to me, put a banana peel in there. I'm thinking, are you serious? I think he was just wanting to see if I was an idiot and would do it. It's like, I'm not growing orchids. Not sticking no banana peel in my ear. Oh my goodness. It pays not to ask sometimes, doesn't it? Just keep it to yourself. Get these random suggestions. I feel like that needs to be softened there. So yeah, I'm off to see the doctor about the photos. Hopefully he'll have a glance in my ear. Then I can cancel the appointment because I sort of have a feeling my ear is pretty darn good, to be honest. What is that big jump there? So yeah, that's what I'm up to, but not to whinge, but bloomin' hang, it hurt. I've never had an earache like that. I think I did when I was a kid, when I was swimming all the time. You know, get swimmer's ear, I think they call it. That's the product I was using on day one of my earache. And I think it's more for drying liquid, where I was blocked and I needed to break things down. So the next product I got had like a peroxide in it. I can't remember the brand name. Had a peroxide product and I could actually hear it fizzing in there, which was very comforting, knowing that it was doing its thing. So that's what I've been mucking around with. Nothing really to complain about. And if it feels the darn sight better, I'm happy with that. So hopefully this doc will spare me 3 seconds. I've never been to this clinic before. We've moved, so we're finding clinics with new doctors and getting registered and in their system, and some are too full and they won't take you, so we sort of had to hunt around a little bit to find a new doctor. Then I was in the shower this morning thinking, well, I have an appointment for that extra day. Maybe I'll just pick another part of my body and start checking that out. You know, plenty of bits you can check. Not to mention just get a blood test and get a bit of a check of your overall health. So I need to make a decision. Maybe I keep the appointment and seeing him on a health check. Wonder if I could put that little guy in there, open that up a little bit. I'm just going to try it. I know I've just unthreaded it and oh, that's not too bad. So yeah, I should probably stay on the health journey. Just not quite right shape, is it? What else have we got that might... Maybe we sneak this in again. Bit of continuity. Got a little chopped off bit there, so it's obvious that it's a morsel. I don't mind that. But that doesn't look the best to me. Like it needs to be out, but it's maybe I can find something small that can slide in there to disguise the fact that it is chopped. Where are you? Whatever it is I'm looking for, I cannot see. Maybe I had a new one. It sort of looks a bit odd. I'm going to take him off. Like, he'd be good for tucking in somewhere, like under there. That's better for him. So at least he's used. Get a little pin in there. Bring this guy back a bit. That's better. Maybe that needs to come back too. Not so. Just got to lay that down, then that, then that. That's it. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Talk about finicky. I like that better. Yeah. That feels a little bit more random and not so structured. Let's get these little bits stitched down. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, dealing with an earache, which I believe is now coming good. Hopefully my spots and dots and lumps and bumps are all okay. I think they are, because the nurse, when I showed her the two that I was concerned about, I said, oh, I think this is just a little eczema-y spot. And she said, yeah, I think so too, but the doctor's the one to finalise. You know, of course, she doesn't want to go out on a limb. And the other one, I think, is just a mole that it's just getting bigger because I'm getting, old and bigger. But she said that the doctor can, you know, deal with that as well. So I think I might get rid of that because it is getting bigger. It's on the back of my calf. And I'd hate for it to turn nasty because it is now probably the size of my thumbnail. Never used to be. It was tiny. So obviously my calf has got bigger, therefore it's got bigger. Anyway, I'm sure you guys really want to know all this, but I'm sure you guys are dealing with all the same things. Lumps and bumps. I feel like I could have something peeking through from out there. Maybe leave him. I like that. See, that edge is just a little harsh. What about? Gaz definitely has a couple of spots on his back that are, I think, look a little sinister, but I'm no expert. Excuse me, guys. In the room where we had our photos done, there was a poster on the wall of all the things, all the bumps and lumps and what they look like when they're bad. And then it had the definition of the bad underneath them. And holy frost, I think I'd be at the docks way before it got to the photos that were there. Boy, and I know we both don't have that. Some of them look mean. Really mean. She actually took photos of the soles of our feet, and we sort of commented, gee, that's thorough. She said, oh, the number of melanomas we've found on the sole of your foot, which I thought was interesting. It's a bit of a sneaky spot, isn't it? But I suppose if you've been doing a bit of sunbaking and you've got your paws in the air, there's a chance you could have a spot develop nasty on your foot. Yeah, I thought that was quite telling, actually. Now, I think I can remove him. So we've pretty much made it all the way around. How are we over time? Oh my gosh, how quickly the hour goes. Okay, whipping up that outer edge. I think I can get rid of him. Now we're butterfly. I might actually remove that. Then I can get some stitches in this little guy. I'm going to need more thread. So I didn't need Reg after all. I think he's in my needle pin cushion out near the couch. I was using him last night. I have a feeling he's hanging out there, which is fine. We didn't need him. If we don't need him, that's great. Don't have to deal with his attitude. Alrighty. Oh, you are a cute little bunny. Okay, just whip around this a little bit. Then I'll hold it in place. That can go. There's that half flower. We might just focus on him for a moment. Catch him down. There we go. Come on. I was going so well too. Wasn't catching on anything. That's caught. But we're nearly there. I just need to whiz across the top. So I'm going to leave those dangly bits because I might be able to keep them because they're at the top of the box. If they're on the side or the bottom, I would have trimmed them off. But being they're up there, they're not going to get in the way. It will be a bit tricky to stitch tabs on later, but I think I can. Won't worry about that because the butterfly will catch that one. Whip around this outer edge. See how quick this is? And like I've said 100 times, I have a heap of these squares all cut up. So at any time I get an idea for something that I just want to try in a small space, these little containers are fantastic. They'll have some tabs put on the top and then the string, so they can be drawn closed, but if I don't want to, it can just stay open. Now let's have a look at you. Let's bring the needle right up in the centre there where there's stitched edge for reinforcement. Oh, another thing I've got to do, I've got to get myself a dishwasher. The builder included a dishwasher in the deal, and look, I should have swapped it out for my own selected brand. I had a really good brand in Brisbane, and it was 10 years old, and it didn't miss a beat. So I should have stood my ground and said no, swap it out for, I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Asco. It's not middle of the range, it's probably closer to the top of the range, but boy, when you get 10 years plus, I've had cheaper ones in the past and I'm lucky to get 5 years. So anyway, the Brisbane house, we put this Asco in, and it was brilliant. The builder has put in one, I think it's Technica, And when we went to suss out what was on the market, because we hadn't bought one for 10 years, the lady in the shop, she said Technica, I think it's called, are really good in the ovens. But she said she hasn't heard a lot of good things about the dishwashers. I'm like, oh, that sounds about right. Pretty much it doesn't wash the dishes. You can put it on any time, a 30-minute cycle, half an hour cycle, a 3-hour cycle, which is just gross waste of water. And it just doesn't get things clean. So I don't know what's going on. It would be 7 months old. So we've contacted the builder and there's a bit of a wall of silence going on. Meanwhile, I need a dishwasher. I get visitors from time to time and that really puts pressure on cutlery and crockery. So it's just handy to have, and at least you know it's a good hot wash. You know, sometimes my hand washing is a bit of a lick and a promise. At least you know there's plenty of suds and everything's sterilised, and, you know, it's just good hygiene. So we're going into, now we've measured the hole that it fits into, and we're going in to get ourselves a new dishwasher. And then when this builder turns up, I don't know, maybe they can give me another dishwasher and then I can, I don't know, put it out for sale or donate it to somewhere. I don't know how that's all going to roll. It's such a shame. I've got a few kids around me that are in the process of moving out and are gathering supplies for houses. So I might even just put the word out to all the mums and dads and say, hey, you got any kids that need a dishwasher? Someone will be able to use it. It'd be nice if the builder come to the party and replaced it at least. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's just not, I suspect it's not getting hot enough. I don't know. But for the age of it, you'd think it would have lasted a little bit more. Shocking, isn't it? There we go. I'll just stitch that down. I don't want it to catch. It's when I take these little containers full of bits somewhere, it's when they're going to catch then on something, aren't they? It's all well and good having this 3-dimensional butterfly, but he's going to get ripped off. That's pretty big. That's better. Alrighty. Well, I might toddle off, finish throwing a few more stitches around on this. Then I'll be ready to head into town, sort out my final skin check, get the results from all the pretty pictures, get myself a dishwasher, and then hopefully by the time I get home this afternoon, I might be able to do some more stitching on something. I'm just going to use this thread. You guys aren't going anywhere, we've still got time. I'd go longer on my videos, but they just get too slow to upload. But an hour and 10's probably pretty good. It's not pushing it too much. There we go. Let's just end that off. All right. I'll put a photo of this little fellow at the very end. I think the photo on the thumbnail was the 3 of them with him not decorated. And there he is. Very much part of the game. That matches beautifully. Alrighty. I think that's it. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodbye. Have a good day and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.